Hello and welcome to our very first episode of Out and About, brought to you by the River 95.3. I am very excited that we are going to bring you a video podcast every single month, hopefully teaching you something. I'll be your host, Janet Michael. The first 3 months, we're going to be talking to the master gardeners, along with Mark Supfin from the Virginia Extension Office, about gardening things and things that you need to know. We're doing this one live at Richard's Fruit Market on Middle Road. So keep watching and let us know, what do you want to learn so we can cover it for you in the next couple of months. So Mark, thank you for agreeing to be a part of this next 3-month segment. Tell me a little bit about you and the Extension Office.
Well, of course, I'm Mark Supfin, and I am the Horticulture Extension Agent based in Frederick County, but I actually serve a 5-county region. I work with the homeowner as well as the vegetable and fruit farmers in the region.
And if somebody wants more information, how do they find you, or they have questions?
All of our information is online at ext.vt.edu. That's the main website to find the local county offices, as well as all of the links to our fact sheets and publications.
And you are our master gardener. So tell me, Siri, give me a little bit of background about you and how did you get to, or tell me a little bit about how you got to be a master gardener.
I'm Sari Karp, and I became a master gardener like I think most of master gardeners did, because we liked gardening and we wanted to learn more and share our knowledge with the public. And that's what we do. We are a volunteer organization that works with the Extension Office, and our mission is garden education, public education about gardening. So we have a helpline where we answer people's gardening questions, and you can reach us through the Extension Office. And we have booths at farmers markets and all kinds of exciting events like that.
Well, thank you for agreeing to come and hang out with us for the next couple of months. So my big question when it comes to watering, my husband swears I could kill a plastic plant. So I either overwater everything or I underwater everything, and it all ends up dying anyway. So is there a method to the madness? I know it's different depending on what you're growing. What can I do?
For my office and a lot of the complaints and questions that come from the home landscape, a lot of the issues are either overwatering or underwatering. And so you're not alone at all. Everyone deals with that issue.
So I'm just an average gardener, I guess.
You know, each plant is really gonna vary in its watering needs. And here in the Shenandoah Valley, we've experienced some dry weather this morning. After a nice rain shower last night, it doesn't seem so dry, but it has been incredibly dry, and most of our vegetable plants are going to need some additional watering to thrive. Here at Richards, they use drip tape along their rows and under their plastic mulch. Those are great, efficient ways to water plants. They're able to get the moisture directly on the surface of the soil, right at the root system, without getting the entire plant wet. It does not promote additional fungus issues and other disease pathogens that can be enhanced if the foliage gets wet time and time again from overhead irrigation. It's more efficient in terms of water use. Every square foot of that garden does not need water, just right along where your plants are. For the home gardener, soaker hoses and some other options will be similar. Soaker hoses are not going to give you the pressure regulated options that you have with drip tape, but the soaker hoses are nice because it gets the water right there at the base of the plant without getting the foliage all wet.
So basically, I have been doing it all wrong, because we just stand over everything with the hose thinking once everything is wet, then we have watered, when in theory, we're better off to take the sprayer off the hose, lay it down, go have a cup of coffee, come back, and get everything into the roots and not necessarily get all the leaves wet.
Right, and that's really called flood irrigation. That's done in parts of the country and parts of the world as well, where you flood irrigate even an entire field or down rows and furrows. Again, getting that water in at the root system is ideal.
So do you want to walk down to the garden and you can actually show me? I'm even willing to get my hands dirty.
That would be great.
So now we have props. So I know at least enough to know that I don't put that thing on jet like I'm washing the car when I'm watering. So if I've just got a standard garden hose, what is the best option?
Exactly. You want to be careful about not eroding the soil. You don't want a really strong jet of water because your soil will just wash away and your plant will lose all the goodness from the soil. So if you're watering with a can like this, it's good to have one that has a breaker so that the water comes out in more of a shower.
So that's what this is a breaker.
Exactly. And usually they come off and you can water without it, but in general, especially when you're dealing with bare soil, you want to use something like this. If you're watering with the hose, you can put it on shower or mist. And something that I do sometimes is I will just put it on mist and I will walk away and I will leave it because it's a very, very gentle drip of water into the plant. It takes a while to get it fully watered, but it will get there and it won't mess up your soil in the process. Something else that you should be aware of is watering deeply. You still, even though you don't want to water fast, you want to get a lot of water in and water less often. It's better for the plants to water once or twice a week very, very deeply than to water a little bit every day. If you water a little bit every day, then what will happen is the water will stay close to the surface and so will the roots, because the plant will think,
I don't have to work for this. They're bringing it to me every day.
And why should I make deep roots? Because all the water's just up at the surface and you won't get your nice deep root system.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you. So I had nothing to do with it, but to me it looks like this pear tree is dead.
Well, they're not exactly dead. Unfortunately, these pears are suffering from a disease called fire blight. It's actually a bacterial disease that is very common for fruiting and ornamental pears. So in the home landscape, many folks have to deal with this. If you're trying to grow fruit, especially tree fruit, and you have some pears, fire blight can actually get on some of the other species, such as apples. It is actually typically spread at bloom time, and so during bloom is when you would want to have protective bactericides on to prevent this from happening. It can also happen when there's an open wound in the tree, say from pruning or from a hail or thunderstorm.
And information on how to figure out what to put on it and when is always available through your office at the Virginia Extension.
That's correct.
Awesome. So there is still hope for the pear tree.
There is.
Okay, so now I know you want to talk about bugs, so I'm just going to say talk. I'm not touching them. It's all on you.
All right. If you've got a vegetable garden, you're definitely going to deal with insect pests. We stress things like hand pulling insects off, disposing of them, and rotating your crops whenever possible so that you can mix the plantings up and hopefully you don't deal with the same pest year after year. Some of them are just common pests that we do deal with, and if you've got the plantings, you're going to have the pests. Chemical controlling them is usually our last resort. We always encourage integrated pest management, which is using the whole toolbox of options that you can to control the pest, and chemical is the last tool in the toolbox that you want to pull out.
Okay, so there are actually good bugs, because that just seems, you're going to have to convince me of that.
Yes, there are a lot of good bugs. There are pollinators, which we all know about already, and there are also bugs that are predators or parasitoids of the bad bugs, like the parasitoid wasps that will kill the tomato hornworm. Some of them will kill the squash bugs, and you can encourage them by planting judiciously in your gardens. You know, you plant the brightly colored flowers to attract the pollinators, and for the parasitoid wasps, they're very, very tiny, so they have tiny little mouth parts, and they don't do well with deep flowers, so they like flowers that are in the aster family and the carrot family. And actually, one of the biggest flowers that's in the aster family is dandelions, so leave your dandelions in the lawn, let them flower, and these wasps will be really, really happy because they'll have stuff to eat and they will take care of your squash bugs for you.
So I'm here with Eddie Richard, owner of Richard's Fruit Market. I wanted to take a quick minute and say thank you for allowing us to come and use your space to do our very first podcast. But tell everybody a little bit about where you are, when you're open, and how they can find you and what you've got.
Janet, my pleasure. We're on richardsfruitmarket.com. We're on Facebook. Our address is 6410 Middle Road, Middletown, Virginia. We were established in 1878. This is our 63rd year as the oldest, longest running fruit market in the same spot. We grow your entire meal. We raise grain-fed to finished beef. Pick your own flower garden, fruits and vegetables. We have your desserts and Virginia wine.
Thank you for letting us come hang out for a while.
You're welcome, Jan, at any time.
I'm Janet Michael. Thanks for watching Out and About.